Quantity Radio. Welcome back to another episode of Quantity Radio. I am your host, Big Quan, and today we have a very special guest. As always, we have the very special Monica from
Hi.
The Good Leaf. How you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling bubbly. I'm feeling vibrational.
Take a little something to smoke.
Yeah, listen, I wish I did have an edible last night, but we're going to get into that for sure.
Edibles are scary. I cannot do an edible.
No?
Anybody that takes edibles, I'm like, whoa, you are wild.
You are beyond.
Like, ooh, I can't. I am afraid. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God. We are definitely going to get into edibles for sure. I'm excited about this episode. We got some announcements. So I'm excited about that. And I want to start off with, how has your 2024 been going so far? I know we're only a few weeks in, but how has it been going so far for you?
It's been hectic. I feel like I've had maybe 27 breakdowns.
Oh, okay. We are 27 days in.
Yeah. And but everything's been happy. Again, there's a lot of things happening, so I'm super excited. I feel very blessed, even though I'm having a few breakdowns, but they're good breakdowns. Very excited about a few things that's coming up, so I'm just ready for it. Okay. I'm ready for 2024. I think it's going to be an epic year. I've been saying this to everybody. It's the energy. Feels different. I was ready for 2023 to be over.
Yeah, I was kind of over. I'm like, okay, let's see what 2024 has in store. And it's like, you're ready to take on the world.
Yes.
It's like, let's do this. It's like a whole bunch of opportunities coming up, a whole bunch of good things coming up. I just, like you said, the atmosphere just feels different.
Yes.
We're ready to take over. So I'm excited for you. And at least you're having good breakdowns.
Yes.
You know, you're probably stressing about what's the good things are about to happen. You know, make sure everything's in preparation, things like that. So that is a good thing.
Yes. It's not like crying all the time. But,
yeah. Which is good. So I want to start off with an icebreaker question.
Okay.
I didn't do it on my last episode, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do an icebreaker.
Okay.
So, I don't know how
I'm on
to
a date.
shuffle, but I'm just I pull out a card from here and I ask a question and then you answer and then I hand you the deck and you pick out a card for me.
Okay.
And I'll answer the question as well.
All right.
So let's see. I'm going to pull from the middle. And these are from tonight's conversations card deck. So let's see. Well, this was random. Okay, so describe your current relationship with your exes. Non-existent. That is a perfect answer. Exes for a reason. Okay.
For sure.
Okay, so that was pretty quick and simple. Watch me get a hard card. All right.
This is my game. Okay, I'm going to shuffle it.
Here we go.
Shuffle it. Do a good one.
Here we go, y'all.
Pull something from the middle. Okay. Ready?
Yes, I don't know.
When you look in the mirror, what kind of person do you see? Oh, that was a deep one.
Wow.
Mine was easy.
Wow, I know.
Mine was easy.
Dang.
Do you want me to read that again? That was hard. That was deep.
Okay, when I look in the mirror, what kind of person do I see?
What kind of person do you see?
Wow. I see a caring individual. I see a determination. I see a soft person. I see what else do I see? I see someone that's going after what she deserves because I haven't always felt as if I was worthy sometimes. Not from other people, but for myself. Because I'm so super hard on myself. So I'm kind of like a perfectionist a little bit, but I have to sit back and realize you don't have to be like that and that you can go after everything you want and you also deserve everything that you desire.
Yes.
So that's what I see when I look in the mirror.
I love that. So your question was hard. But
I
love
know,
your answer. I love that.
Thank you. So we got that out the way. We got our icebreakers out the way. So we're going to start with our questions. So are you born and raised in Stockton?
I was actually born in Long Beach, California.
Oh, shout out to the
Yeah.
LBC.
And my parents got married there, and my mom was actually from Stockton. And
Mhm.
she was arranged marriage with my dad.
Okay.
So she went to move to Long Beach, where I was born.
Mm.
And when I was about like 4 or 5, they moved back to Stockton to be with my mom's side of the family. And ever since then, I've lived in Stockton.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, that is a good little backstory right there.
Yes.
Do you go back to Long Beach and visit or?
Here and there. I wish I could visit a little bit more often.
Mm.
My dad's side of the family is actually in Long Beach, LA area,
Mm.
and they have a bunch of like donut shops, and that's what they
Oh
did.
wow.
They moved to Lodi, Stockton area,
Mm.
opened a donut shop in Lodi, and they were open for like 20 plus years.
Wow,
Yeah,
amazing. So entrepreneurship was already in her bloodline. Do you
it's
hear me?
even
It's
through.
in you. So I want you to give like a quick backstory to everyone, the listeners, the viewers, on who you are. Like who is Monica as
Okay.
a person, as a wife, as a mother. Just describe yourself.
Okay. Well, sorry,
It's okay.
I got a cough. I was
It's
like, man,
fine.
I like felt like I needed to cough. But a backstory of me. So again, my parents owned a donut shop for 20 plus years, and
Mm.
that's kind of where everything started. I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just never knew how or what I was going to be. Everybody thought I was going to own a donut shop, and I hated the donut shop. I was like,
Why did you
no.
hate the donut
It
shop?
was just like something so repetitive that you saw every day. Like I
Mm.
loved seeing my parents have their own business, but I saw how much time it took away from them. And as a kid, I have a younger sister. They never had the time for us because they were
Yeah.
working so much. And when I was younger, it felt like a lot of resentment because they didn't have so much time for us
Mm.
because they were working so much, you
Yeah.
know. And as a parent now, I completely understand. But I always knew, like, even though I resented them, I always, not resented them, but resented the donor shop and how busy and how much it took from them.
Mm.
I always still wanted to be an entrepreneur, have my own business. And when I got older, I actually went into fashion design.
Oh
My
wow.
grandma used to sew like my Halloween costumes, and that's where my creative spin really came to life. I
Mm.
always knew I was this creative person. I really had like, I loved painting, I loved making stuff. So I actually went to the Fashion Design Academy of Design and Technology in Sacramento,
Okay.
and I actually went into like fashion design, and I wanted to be like this huge fashion designer.
I
And
can
moved to
see from that
LA.
outfit,
Thank
girl.
you,
You
thank
put that
you,
together.
thank you. And I went to be this huge fashion designer. Moved to LA. You know, the whole dream and things like that. Obviously, ended up not happening.
Mhm.
I actually left college, and I loved the college experience. I was the youngest to be part of Sacramento Fashion Week.
Wow.
But then, like after college, I was like, what is there?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to move to LA. I think a lot of it was fear of having to move away. Obviously, I have like family over there and stuff like that, but
Hmm.
not super close where you feel like I can go live there and
Not
like kind of
comfortable enough.
right. So I
Yeah.
was like, I don't have any money. I just got graduated from college, and after college, I really didn't know what I wanted to do.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people feel that way. They go into school right after high school, right? And then they go into college right after. And a lot of people don't really know how to live off of school after it's over, right? So I ended up going to like part time jobs and ended up working in retail for like 5 years
Mm.
as a manager. And I was like, okay, like this is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I actually quit when I became, I not quit when I became pregnant, but I remember I was just like working day to day, and every morning a paper would print out for
Mm.
your daily task and stuff like that. And I looked at it, someone texted me, and I looked at my phone, and was like, oh my God, I saw your name on there. Congratulations, 5 years within the business. And I was like,
Damn.
I
Five
felt,
years.
yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is horrible. I was
Mhm.
like, 5 years felt like two.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the heck? What am I doing here?
Yeah. It
You
goes by
know?
so fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then we became pregnant,
Mhm.
and I was like, do I see myself coming here, commuting all the way to the Bay Area
Oh
for
yeah.
this full time retail job
Mhm.
and just doing this for like 5 more years?
Yeah.
And I was like, no. So I told Joseph, my husband, I was like, he was commuting back and forth from the Bay too. He worked in construction,
Oh, okay.
and he was done with his job. And I feel like we were at this point that we want to change,
Mm.
right? So, ended up telling him about when I was on maternity leave. He came back from work. I cooked him dinner, and I was like, "Hey, this is crazy. This is what I'm about to present you right now is crazy. But what if we opened a delivery service?" And he was like, "Delivering what?" And I was
Mm.
like, "Cannabis."
He's like,
And he was like, "Wait a minute, lady,
wait a minute.
what are you talking about?" And we've always viewed the idea of like, how do we get into the industry, the cannabis industry? It's expensive. It's, we don't know anything about it, And I was like, well, I can research it. I can figure out how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, if you can figure it out, then like, let's
Let's
try
do
it
it.
out.
Yeah.
So he would come back to work or come back home from work, and I would be on maternity leave, so I'm just like, at home all day.
Nothing but time on your hands.
I'm
to
like, okay,
research.
this man is telling me like figure it out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll figure it out. Ended up figuring it out, and when I told my parents, and they actually were just selling their donut shop,
Oh,
and
wow.
then they got a
Okay.
lump sum of money, and I was like, hey, they actually wanted to open a UPS store,
Oh, okay.
so they were like, okay, well, if you guys want to do that, then like let's
Invest into that.
yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, and then his grandma ended up moving from Tennessee all the way to California because all the babies were here. And
Mm-hmm.
she sold her house, and she was like, I have a little bit of money that I could invest with in you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it all started.
Wow. So that was so important, like to have that family support as well.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because some people they don't have that, and they have to start from scratch, start from the
Yes.
ground up. I mean, all your ideas already are from the ground up, but just having that financial support to support from
Right.
your family for you to go after your dreams is so very important. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that you had
Well,
that.
the thing is that a lot of like, and they're trying to put anybody under the bus, but you would be surprised about the people who you thought were going to be by your side,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
then not, especially like family members or friends. You
Yeah.
start something new, and you think that I feel like starting a business is almost like going into a relationship.
Mhm. You don't know what to
Right,
expect.
and when you find somebody that's like your new business, right? And then you're
Mhm.
super excited. You tell people, and they're just like here for it, or they're not here for
Or
it.
they want to wait and see. They're on a
Yeah.
wait and see type. But let me see if you're going to be successful first, and then I'll support.
Yes.
But if it's genuine and the friendship is genuine and the family member really cares for you, it should already just be support,
Already
just
like
off of bat because they
yes,
want you to be successful.
yes, and that's definitely not what we got when we
Mhm.
first started, which is sad,
Yeah.
but it also makes you feel like a stronger person. At first, it was really sad,
Yeah.
and it was like I wish I had people who I thought were going to be behind me.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, it's like I'm glad,
Mhm.
because it did make me a stronger person. And it made me feel like, okay, if I can go through this, I can go through anything. Because, like, I don't need
Exactly.
it. I don't need it. So it made me into a more mature person that
Mhm.
not everybody is going to be behind you, and that's okay.
And whoever is not behind you, the person just wasn't meant to go along on the
On the
journey.
journey. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
So it's
That's
all
cool.
part of the cycle, all part of life,
Exactly.
and people will be removed as the seasons come.
Seats will move,
Yes, yes, exactly. So let's get into the weed.
Okay.
I'm like,
Let's
let's get
go.
into
Let's
it.
go.
So, what influence has marijuana had in your life? Like, what made you say, let's start a weed delivery business? It could have been like you said, UPS store. It could have
Yes.
been anything.
Anything.
But why did you choose to get into the cannabis industry? Like, what influence? How did you start with weed? Were you smoking it as you grew up, or tell me what's going on?
Years. I've been a cannabis user for years, and we never thought that we could be in the industry just
Mm,
because it looks huge from the outside. But when you
mm,
go in, it's a small industry of the same groups of people. It's just the big boys play a big game, and they also have the big money behind them. So it
mm,
looks like a huge industry. But when we first started, it was more so like, what's going to make it to where it's different?
yeah.
And what's going to excite us? When my parents presented the idea of opening a UPS store, I was like, okay, I'm going from retail 5 years to go into UPS. That's not what I want to do. What is something that we want to do? And we kind of figured, like, what interests us? And, like,
Mm.
smoking weed.
Like,
Like,
let's do
super
it.
simple. And I was like,
Yeah.
how do we get into it? It's a new industry. It started, like, it was legalized in 2018. And I was like, what's the easiest way to get in? And it's
Mm.
delivery service.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say it's the cheapest way. It's definitely not cheap. It's
Mhm.
definitely put us in debt, and but it's also taught us a lot of things, and it's brought us into different rooms
Mhm.
that we would never have gotten into.
Mhm.
We got into the delivery service wanting to go into doing a retail, a dispensary, a brick and mortar.
Okay.
And going into it, we're like, that's not where to go. The retail aspect of it is so expensive
Mhm.
with the taxes that they put on us, with just like the building cost, the lease cost.
That alone,
That's
yeah.
just that would just
Mhm.
like scare people. And we're just like, there's so many other retailers opening up that have more money on their side than we do.
Mhm.
So what's missing? And that was events.
Yeah.
And we have been seeing that events have been this black hole that nobody does here in the valley specifically.
Mhm.
A lot of people go to SoCal, and a lot of people go to San Francisco, and
Right.
a lot of people go sack up, but in the valley gets so lost,
Yeah.
and it's like in the in between type of thing. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay, so that's your
yeah.
background on marijuana right there. Do you have like a favorite strain of weed?
I am kind of getting into more. Before, I used to be more of a candy girl. Anything sweet, sativa, just to like keep me up and like going.
Mhm.
But now I'm more into a gassy type feel. More the OG strains. The Blue Dream's always a favorite, but I'm kind of playing around with my palate. I feel like when you get older, when you're younger, like you like the candy strains, the rainbow Skittles and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But now I'm kind of getting a little bit older, and I like more of the gassy feels. I love tasting and
Mm.
smelling so many things. And
Yeah.
when I first started this, I never really was like, okay, smelling so much, because you'd go to the dispensary and they would give you like 3 or 4 strains that like you can smell and stuff like that. And I would always tell them candy,
Yeah.
anything sweet. But working as an owner and getting so many samples, and
Mm.
they'll be like, try this, smell this, smell this. I've been trying to like open up my palate, so I think I'm going into more of a gassier type strain. So
So what's the difference between the like the candy and the gassier strain? Is like does it give you more of a more of a high or is
depends
it
on the strain that you're smoking, and
okay?
a lot of people, they also look at the percentages, which is something that I think the industry really confused people on. People think like the higher the percentage, the more effed up you're gonna get, the more higher you're gonna
That's what
get.
I thought.
But it's really between the terpenes. So
Okay.
when you're looking at the packaging, on the back it should say total cannabinoids, which is your total of everything on there, and then it will say total of terpenes. And the higher it is, so it's like the highest you can get is probably like the highest is like 3%, and that sounds really bad, right? Not the
Mhm.
highest it can get is 3%, but you're really looking at the terpene levels.
Okay.
The percentages with THC, yes, it's important, and then it also have like the CBD aspect on it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like more of a like hybrid girl when I was smoking like back to I was smoking heavy. Like I always wanted hybrid because I feel like indica would like just put me down.
Yes.
Like don't phone is like off. I'm not hearing anything. And sativa is like I feel like I didn't get high enough. You
Yes.
know.
Okay.
So I was like I like
With
the
the in
balance.
between,
Yeah.
some indicas don't actually put me to sleep.
Wow.
There's one, and this is not an ad, but there's only one company that does. They usually just do indica, and it's called Permanent Holiday. And
Mhm.
I would smoke it and be out,
Mm.
literally on the couch, just like, and he would wake me up and say, "Hey, you gotta wake up.
You gotta
Like,
wake
you
up.
gotta
It's time
make
to get
dinner.
up. Like
You gotta make some dinner." And
huh?
that's the only one that has every single time I've smoked it. It's like knocks me out.
Out for the count.
Yes,
Yeah.
I cannot. I like don't even.
So
If I
we
had to go do something, I'm like, no, no
that's
Permanent
it.
Holiday.
This is it for the night. Like
Yes.
that's it. I'm not doing
Don't even
anything else.
talk to me. Don't even call me.
And we were talking about edibles earlier, and you said you can like not do
Oh,
edibles. So like, what is the thing with edibles? Like, is
it's
it
just a
too
little bit.
much?
It's a little bit more concentrated.
Okay.
So edibles here and there are cool. Like when we first started, they were sending us samples. I
Mm.
got a sample of corn nuts, and I was like,
Corn
yes.
nut. Oh.
And
What?
those corn nuts were delicious,
Yeah.
but I didn't read the packaging. I think it's more of reading
Yes,
and
definitely with
directions,
edibles
and
for
that was
sure.
something I was not doing. And I was just like popping them in, but when I read it, it was saying that you had to take 10 wait 30 minutes
That's
and
the
go
thing
have a
too.
day. Yeah,
You gotta wait.
she had like 50 of them because they're corn nuts. So you're just like
Oh
eating
my
them,
god,
and yeah,
girl,
no, that
fuck
was
you on
a.
the floor.
I was on the floor, and I was like, I gotta go. I was like, I
Oh my
can't be here
god,
anymore.
yeah.
Ended up leaving. But edibles, I feel like they're just more concentrated.
Hmm.
I think edibles kind of scare me, but I think it's like about reading how much are you intaking and then waiting.
Yeah, the
Actually
wait part
waiting.
because you don't
Yes.
feel it, and
No.
it's like I want more,
Yes, you're like I don't
and then you're fucked up. So
exactly.
yeah,
There's another brand. It's not out of either, but
it's all good.
I should be. But it's called Keef sodas, and they're
Hmm.
just like mixed drinks. It tastes like a Jack and Coke,
Oh
but it
wow.
just gives you that feeling that you're drinking,
Mm-hmm.
But it gives you that feeling that you're getting like a little buzz from
Mm-hmm.
alcohol, but you don't taste the marijuana.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
it's
need, yeah.
delicious.
So we gonna talk after the show about that.
Yes, exactly.
Because I want that because I feel like I can't really do smoke inhalation anymore because of my lungs. I'd be like I get like raspy throat and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I try to steer away from the smoke part. But I do. That's why I do like taking edibles. But I'll take like a little piece, and I hate the waiting part. I'm like, damn, it's like 30 minutes already. Like. And then it hits you when you least expect. You're like on
Yes.
the phone with your friend, like, yeah, and it's like, oh shit,
Edible is kicking in. Sorry.
I'm gonna call you back.
And I think
So
that's what's so crazy
yeah.
now. I think the industry is changing, and there's so many different, different cannabis products that
Hmm.
people are not really aware of.
Yeah.
Like people just initially think like it's just a smoking, it's just pre rolls, it's just flour, but
Oh
there's
no.
even like Listerine strips. Yeah, Listerine strips. There's like they're coming out with hard candies,
Hmm.
chocolate bars, obviously, but there's so many different things
That's
now that are out
crazy.
there that even I was like, Listerine strips.
Yeah, I now want to try
And,
that. I'm
and
like,
how much milligrams is that?
it's in
How
per
dangerous is it?
strip. Yeah, and it's
Yes,
soaking into your tongue,
and
so it's
right, it's
like
gonna intake
instant.
right. And does it taste like mint? Will it give me that minty feeling? I don't
Yeah,
know.
fresh breath and
Yes,
fresh
and
high.
exactly. We're spokespeople.
Look. Okay, they need to hire us. So okay, so you got your delivery business started. So what was that process like? Like everything getting up and running and having your first customers. How was that? I gotta hear it.
Oh man, so the process
Mm-hmm.
was intense. It was too much. Working with the city, they did not know anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think like it was a lot of training that had to go through, but I would go to the city of Stockton. So you have to have a place first. So you have
Okay.
to have a physical building before you even get started.
For a
And
delivery service?
yes, crazy, right?
Yeah.
So you have to sign a lease and everything and like lock it down before you
Mm-hmm.
even get approved. So
Okay.
you're signed to a lease, you go to the city, and you talk to one person, and they're just like, wait, let me go talk to somebody else and see if they know. And it's just so much back and forth.
Mm.
And when we started, it was back in right before 2020 hit. So
Right
the
before
city, yeah,
COVID.
nobody wants to work already. So like
Mm-hmm.
COVID hit, and nobody worked.
Wow.
And I was like, who do I talk to?
Yeah.
Because I'm emailing a bunch of people. Nobody could go into the office. And I was like, this is feels like it's taking longer than it should.
Mm.
Nobody was answering my emails. And when the city finally opened, that's when we like hit the ground running. And we're like, okay, I already put in I gave my work like a few months to know that I was leaving.
Mm.
Because of the position, I was like, I'm going to be leaving in like 3 months.
Yeah.
But we weren't actually fully approved yet. So I was like, trying to hustle because now it's like okay in 3 months I'm gonna like not have a job
Yeah.
and now we're gonna go straight into the delivery service. um, Working with the state was a little handsy too because of the same issue, but we got that solved and figured it was kind of a faster process with the state, but the city it was just like
So slow.
so slow. It
Yeah.
was like have you ever watched that movie with like the slug at the DMV?
Oh yeah. He was
That was
like,
what it was. And I was like, oh my God, this is my life right now. But when we finally opened, we were, first off, super excited, but
mm-hmm.
also super nervous.
How
And
things were gonna go. Like,
yes, and because we were a delivery service, nobody knew about us. But we
mm-hmm.
were so naive thinking that we just put our names on weed maps and we're selling weed and everybody's going to flock to us, you
Yeah.
know? And that definitely did not happen. I had
She's like, I gotta put out content. I gotta make all this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had one customer, he did a scheduled order for like the next day, and then we went to him that day when it wasn't even scheduled. We got there and he was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "For your order?"
Your order. He's like, "This tomorrow."
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh shit!" But we were so excited.
Yeah.
He's still a customer to this day.
That's great.
Yeah, he was like, "I remember you guys from the first time you guys like delivered," and I was like, "Please stop talking about it." I was like, "Please
no,
stop."
but that's good. Like, you have those long-standing customers
Yes.
too. You built relationships with them. It's like, okay, I'm gonna stick with you. So that means you have great products and great service.
I love it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
like we went through. I feel like we were reborn and rebirthed so many times with the Good Leaf, and only being 2.5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was so many times when we lost our Instagram page, or like we would lose customers, or we were trying to figure out how do we stand out and how do we become different. And I feel like our approach with like the customer service, like you were mentioning, that's one of our biggest things.
Mm-hmm.
As a smaller business, we don't have every single product that a customer is looking for,
Mm-hmm.
but the customer service is what makes us stand out. Yeah. And I can tell you, like, each customer, I know exactly what strains they like or what type of product they like, so that anytime I get a new product, I'm reaching out to so-and-so, and I'm like, hey, like, I know you like this strain from last time. Here's something similar that you really liked. So, like, try it out if you want, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what kept us really different.
Yeah, customer service will always get me. It's like, and you getting to know your customers, like you said, you know what type of weeds they like, know what type of strains they like. So, hey, like making suggestions, and they're like, oh, okay, well, thank you for letting me know. Like, they appreciate that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, it shows that you actually care.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, that's awesome. So, I want to talk about being a weed mom. So, a lot of times we get like, backlash because we are the mom. It's like, it'll be okay if the dad smokes a little weed here and there or whatever like that. But as a mother, it's like, it's kind of looked down upon. I feel like in the last couple of years, it's like been a little bit more acceptable. People are like more free with it. But like certainly like a few years back, it's like, oh, you're smoking weed, like you're a mom. It's like, okay, but I'm a human being. First of all, I'm a woman. Like, I should be able to smoke weed if I want to, as long as it's not endangering my child or anything like that. You should be totally fine to smoke weed. And plus, I feel like it helps with the parenting stress. You know, as soon as that baby gets down for a nap or anything like that, or there,
Exactly.
you light that up, take your edible, whatever you got to do, make a little drink or whatever, and relax yourself. Because, I mean, especially if you're doing what you're supposed to do as a parent, as a mother, we deserve it.
Yes.
I feel like so.
For sure. I feel like I'm more present as when I'm smoking. And it sounds really bad. It's not like I'm smoking with my child there.
Yeah.
I think people take that perception and like twist it. They're like, you're smoking in the house, you're smoking with your kids. But it's always the moms that are just like drinking a bunch that usually come up to me and we're like, oh my God, you're such a bad mom. While
But
you have like
drinking
3
wine.
shots in your hand that you just did back to back.
Yeah.
It's just like, I feel when I'm smoking and the intake after, it's just, I'm a little bit more present.
Yeah, more focused, like more zoned in on your child. Yeah.
Well, especially like after a long day, like people come home and they crack open a beer or they pour a glass of wine, and that's completely fine and more socially acceptable. For me, we go home and roll up a joint and go into the garage, and you know, like, hey, like just be right there. Like one of us takes turns, and
oh my God,
we come back and we're like, let's build your Lego set. Let's do it.
Like, I'm like super focused now because like you're all tired, stressed out from the day's
I'm more
work.
focused than he is. I'm like, let's put it together.
He's like, okay, Mom, save some for me.
And he's like, please stop playing with me. I'm done with Legos, actually. But I think anybody that has a perception or a stigma, and that's what we're trying to do, is like try and break the stigma around cannabis. It's like, first off, keep your opinions to yourself. I like to say that a lot. It's like, you're not the ones taking care of my child. You're not paying for my bills. I'm not judging you for going home and drinking wine or, you know, cracking open a beer. Like, I'm not judging you for that. So, like, I would like for people not to judge other people for that.
Exactly.
And it's 2024. Like, let us live.
Please, let me live my life, okay? Yeah. My child is well taken care of.
Yes. He is fed. He is bathed. He is doing fine. And let's just go with it.
Yeah. I totally agree. I totally agree. Because like it's always the wine and like I said, beer. Everything is more like
Yes.
socially acceptable, but not the weed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's been so many weed. The laws and stuff have changed. On the views of marijuana. So it's like, I mean, why not? You know? And they can't even like. I think they can't ask you for
A drug test
a
anymore.
drug test anymore at
No.
at workplace, right?
Yep.
I'm talking to Bree. She's behind the camera, y'all.
We're all looking at her like, what?
Yeah. So they can't ask you anymore.
Effective January 1st, they cannot ask you for your personal use.
Hmm.
Now, it is limited to specific jobs such as
Yes.
construction or
Okay.
heavy
Law.
Like heavy labor,
Yep.
things
Or
like
like
that.
related.
police and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, you're free range. You're good.
Exactly. So let's go.
This is 2024.
Shout out to all the
Go.
weed fuckers.
Yes. Shout out to the Canna moms, the Canna
Yes.
dads. Don't forget the
Canada
dads.
dads. The Canada
Let's
dads.
go.
Shout out to y'all. I like that. You know what? You need to make something with that. Like
Hey,
a
I need
shirt.
to
You need
trademark
some
it or
shirts.
something.
Yeah, you
Yes.
need to do that. Let's get into the 420 event, man. I've been waiting to talk about this. We've talked about this off camera on the phone. I'm super excited for the event. I think I'm really super excited. The main one in here right now. Like, oh my god, I can't wait. Like, we've never had this in the 209.
I'm stressing. I'm like sweating. I'm like,
She's like, oh my gosh, she's excited. Okay, let's plan some more.
let's
plan some
go.
more. Like, okay, so we've never had a 420 event that I can recall in the 209 anywhere. So everybody always goes to Hippie Hill because it's the closest, or people are going to down to LA, things like that. But we are actually about to have our first 420 event via Monica and the Good Leaf. Let's
Yes.
talk about it. What is going on? Like, what made you think about this event? Like, besides us not having an event here previously, it's like, how did this come about? Like, let's talk about it.
It's wild. It's actually Joseph. He was the one that pushed me.
Jojo.
I was scared. I was extremely afraid to jump into something else.
Hmm.
You know, and I was like, yeah, like, that'd be really cool if we had an event. That would be so dope.
Yeah.
How are we going to do it?
Yeah.
Like, let's just try and, like, figure it out. And we went to so many different parties, like, underground stuff. And we're like, okay, this is cool. But not the normal everyday person can go.
Mm.
I feel like for us, when we open a delivery service, right? If you saw me on the streets, you would never know that I sold weed or even smoked weed, right?
Yeah.
But I want people to feel comfortable coming to something like this. I feel like a lot of 420 events, people have a perception of what is going to be happening there. So we've been planning this for 2.5 years.
Wow.
So we've been trying to work with the city, trying to figure out how can we bring something like that here. But when we first started, it was so, like, not constructed right. We just wanted to put on a weed event, but we had no plan, no dream for it. We just knew we wanted to put on a weed event.
Yeah.
So me and Joseph were talking a little bit more. It was like, what do we feel like is missing here? What happens here a lot? And we are really a part of, like, a lot of small businesses and a lot of artists, and we were starting to think, like, what is the Central Valley? It's all about art.
Yeah.
There are so many talented people in the Central Valley that get so underlooked and passed over, and nobody ever seems to take a second to look at what is happening in the Central Valley and the amazing people here. So we were like, why not?
Why
Let's
not?
do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, if nobody is trying to do it, let's try and do it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody saw the vision, like, except for the group of people that we have on our team.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll talk about my team in a little bit because they're all super special in such their own little ways. But when we thought of the idea, we're like, what is this event? Not even thinking about the name, right? I was like, what are we going to be doing there?
Yeah.
Like art. And I was like, it's like Burning Man, like burning flowers. And I was like, burning flowers. He's
I
literally
love
walking
it.
around,
I
and
love it.
he was like, yeah, we're going to, like, it's like art. We're talking about art. The art of food, the art of, like, photography, the art in music, and the art of cannabis. And, like, what are we going to
Yeah.
like, just burning flowers.
Yeah.
And we were like,
And then it was that simple
yeah.
right there.
And I was like,
Yes. And that is the name of the event.
yes, burning flowers.
I love
And
it.
since we launched it, the amount of people that have been so behind it and so excited about it, I'm like, we've been holding this in for months and years now. Now that it's finally opened up, we were so nervous. I thought I was gonna die. I was like, I'm gonna throw up. Like, I don't know. And when people started seeing, they're like, oh my god.
Like, what is this?
Yeah,
Like,
and they're like,
yeah.
finally. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, people are actually excited about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay,
Girl,
cool.
this is a huge event. Like, this is going to be so huge. I can just see it now. I feel it.
Yes.
I feel it. Like you said, you can feel it in the atmosphere. Like, it's going to be a huge event for you guys. So I'm like, I'm so super excited. And everybody else is excited because, like I said, we've never had this before. So I was like, oh my God. Like,
Yes.
we have our first very own 420 event
Even
that we
the
can
brands.
go to.
Even the
Yes.
brands that we're talking to, the cannabis brands, they're like, nothing ever happens in the valley, but the
Mhm.
valley loves weed.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, they do love weed. She's like, every time we go to any dispensary and do, like, they call it ghost demos, where they have, like, the tables out so people can try it out.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, anytime I go to the valley, I never leave with anything because they'll try anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, you make the valley sound crazy, but yes, you're right. I was like, the valley loves weed, so why doesn't anything happen in the valley?
Mm-hmm. Around that
Exactly.
particular thing. Yeah.
So they're just like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, now we're putting it on.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a lot of people who are very excited about it, and a lot of people who are like, when is this happening? What is happening? So the excitement around it is making us even more excited.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to show you guys.
How does it
Burning
feel?
flowers.
Like, I know you're excited. It's just like seeing everybody else's excitement. It's like, wow, like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You know, like, this was given to me. This vision was given to me for a purpose. You know, for me to carry it out and for you to like carry the torch.
I feel, first off, a lot of pressure.
Mm.
But I love pressure. Pressure turns into a diamond.
Yeah.
But I feel so excited. I feel also very blessed. I'm glad that Joseph pushed me to, like, go for it. Like,
Yes.
let's go. Like, let's actually do it.
Yeah.
Like, why talk about it? I'm like, I don't know.
Just go ahead and do
So
it.
we just do it. And it's like, that's how I've put everything for everybody. It's just like, you have a vision, just do it. You don't have to know anything about it. Just do a little bit of research and do it.
Yeah.
Like, stop talking about it. Just actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
And
And here we are.
Yes.
We're talking about it, and you're doing
we're doing
it.
it.
You're
We're doing it.
I'm
Yes.
so excited for that. So, I mean, can we talk a little detail, or is everything still under wraps?
Yes,
or
we can talk a little bit of details. I won't say everything.
yeah,
but,
just a little bit. Give us a little snippet of what people can expect when they go to this event.
So first off, with this event, and when we thought of Burning Flowers, we wanted to make this for the people, by the people.
Okay.
So we've made a lot of connections with local entrepreneurs who have been working their ass off in the valley, but feel like they get like what we were talking about, undermined or, kind of looked over. So we are putting them on this pedestal of some sort and giving them a platform to really showcase their work. So, for example, we have Munchie Land, where you're gonna get all your munchies satisfied. If you're like me, if you're like me, when you smoke, you get the munchies, and I will grab anything.
Yes.
My favorite is like Oreos with milk. I will munch. And I was like, of course we're gonna have a Munchie Land. And
Yes.
we're working with Fat Boy Grebin, Marco, and he is coordinating all of the food. He's coordinating all the food content. The foodies will be there.
Mm-hmm.
All the best foods in the 209 that you can think of will be there.
Yes.
So we also are working with small businesses. We're working with The Merge. I don't know if you've heard of them. They do a lot of small businesses in the area. They really showcase a lot of local talent with artists. They do vintage shoes, clothing. They do it all, and they're women-owned,
Okay.
which I love.
I love that. I love
Which
that.
a lot of times they're just like, do you ever, because working in the industry as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
people kind of are, whoa, you're a lady.
Yeah, oh yeah,
know?
I could do it too.
Yeah, and
yeah.
it's refreshing to hear that they also get the same thing
Mm-hmm.
working in their industry. And they're like, when we talk to people, we get this, you're a lady.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like, it's 2024 and people are still
It's-
surprised that women are doing things.
That women are out here liberated and
yeah,
we're
not
doing
home
different
cooking
things.
I will do that later, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna go and do this first.
exactly.
You know,
We have many different roles.
exactly. And then in the cannabis industry, in the cannabis area, we're working with somebody who has been working in the industry. He does a lot of like different events, and he's bringing on the energy. His name is Kyle, and he actually works for a few dispensaries. I don't feel like I could say too much about that area, but
It's
he's
okay.
a great person. He's super energetic, and he's going to be helping us bring a lot of cannabis to the event.
Okay.
DJ Kenzo's helping us with all the music entertainment. We're having live music, and I don't know
Nice.
if you guys know DJ Kenzo, but his energy is literally so.
Magnetic.
No, it's just like
No,
I
just.
feel like I have the energy just being around him,
Mm-hmm.
and he's helping us put on this music, and he's headlining it. We're working with King Geo. He's helping us with, just putting this party together. And I'm just excited for you guys to just see Burning Flowers.
Yeah, I'm
It's been a long
excited.
time in the making.
Yeah.
So,
So you've been doing a lot of planning, and you said 2.5 years. You've been
yes.
planning this, and you're finally, giving birth to your baby
Yes.
that's been cooking.
But it's
So
also like backed by the city and the state.
yeah,
So like the state
that's a major
loves the idea.
accomplishment.
Yes, and the
Yeah,
city is just like, I'm down for it. I'm excited
yeah.
for it. Let's bring it on. And not only that, we're bringing wholesale pricing for
Mhm.
cannabis to the valley on 420. So if you
Come
guys smoke
on.
weed
Yeah.
and you're buying eights for like $40, you're
Mhm.
gonna get it there for like half off, $22. So it's not even a like, what are we
Listen.
thinking about? Like,
Why
let's just
not?
go. So yeah,
Yes, listen, you heard it here, okay? You are going to want to come to this event. I'm excited. I'm excited for everybody from the 209 that is finally getting recognized and getting put on the map. I'm
yes,
excited for Stockton. Like we finally have some shit going on for us. So this is a super exciting event, and
yes.
I'm happy to be a part of it. I cannot wait for this event, y'all.
I'm excited, and I feel like everybody that's part of the team is super excited. I also forgot to mention we are also working with somebody who's working within the industry. They're also a small delivery service like us too. They're called
Okay.
1111, and they are helping us put on this event as well. So
Okay.
I love that we're working with a small group of people,
Mhm.
like-minded, with big dreams, and
Mhm.
ready to put something on for the valley. So I'm excited.
Amazing, amazing. I'm super excited. So I have one more question.
Okay.
How important is following your dreams to you? What advice would you give to everyone out there that's contemplating or letting fear get in their way? They have this vision, but they're too afraid to go after it or too afraid to start planning. What would you say?
Just do it.
Mm.
Just do it.
Just,
It's You're never going to be ready. It's like being a parent. You're
mm.
never all the books you read, all the videos you read, you're never going to actually be ready.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned so much just being in the industry.
Mm.
Learning on the job, you're going to not know everything, and that's okay. But never put fear in front of your dreams.
Mm.
And as easy as it is to say, it's harder to do, obviously.
No, yeah, sorry.
But try. Try and do it because you never want to live your life thinking like, what if? And that's what I never wanted to do is like, what if we did go into the industry? What if we, never got into this or whatever it is? I never want to live that. What if I didn't do something? If I did and I failed,
At least you tried.
exactly, then I
Yeah.
would have known, but never not do something because you're afraid.
Mm.
At least try and actually try. I feel like with me particularly, I would go into things and I would just be like, it's not working, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But I never really actually put in that work
Mm-hmm.
and actually tried, if that makes sense.
No, that's
You know,
perfect
like,
sense.
just do it.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen, and you'll learn from it. And never be afraid to learn or take advice
Mm.
from anybody.
Mm.
And I'm saying anybody, a child to like an elderly adult.
Yeah.
Like, always be open to listen and always be open to learn because
Mm-hmm.
you never know where you're going to take something away from.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. That was amazing advice. Tell us, where we can find you on social media, your website. I want to be able to put the links in the bio for everybody to find you and find your weed delivery service. So
Yes.
let us know where to find you at.
Good Leaf shopthegoodleaf.com is where you can purchase. Instagram is shopthegoodleaf209, and then Burning Flowers is Burning Flowers 209.
Okay. All right. Listen, I was so excited to have you on today. It's been an amazing episode. I can't wait for this event. I'm excited. I'm promoting it like crazy.
We're gonna smoke.
Yes.
We're gonna have fun.
Yes, I can't wait to have fun and have the munchies. Like
Yes.
I'm excited for the food too.
Yes.
I'm a big foodie, so
Find us at Munchieland.
yes,
Yeah,
we're gonna be right there.
Yeah, we won't go. We will be like there all day.
So thank you again for coming on. I enjoyed having you on as a
Thank
guest. And make sure you guys like and subscribe. And make sure you check out Monica, check out her weed delivery service. Go ahead and follow Burning Flowers. And I will see you on the next episode of Quantity Radio.
Bye.